What's like what's the gist of it? Like what is it? What does an extraction shooter mean?
It's like Division. If you ever play Division, it's you
Oh,
you
go in,
you
get shit, get out.
yeah, go and get shit, get out. But if you die, then you lose shit. Like
Yeah,
you could play 4 hours and then never leave and like leave make no progress in what you were doing.
yeah. My boy's a big time creator, so he got a creator code. His name is
Yeah. So
Dry Banana Bread on
yeah,
everything,
I
almost everything.
yeah,
Um,
I got invited to the creator program for them. So I have permission to stream the game, and whoever I give it my code to, me and Begon both got accepted into the program. So we're like,
nice.
okay, we're going to just. So I know I'm pretty sure you didn't apply for it. That's why I was like, okay, let me
No, so I didn't.
extend the offer.
What if I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be awesome. I mean, I hope so. Destiny needs a win. Destiny needs a win. You
Bungie,
know,
primarily Bungie.
Bungie. I'm so sorry. I associate that with the two. What's up, Thunder? Bungie
What is good,
needs.
my dude?
How you doing, man? It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just wrapped up a almost 8 hour stream.
Yourself?
Yep.
Yeah,
Nice,
everyone's
dude.
streaming
That's
today.
what
It's a
that's
good
what
thing.
I'm talking
Everyone.
about. What were you playing? You weren't playing the new Trigon update, were you?
No, I was playing Total War Warhammer.
Oh, yeah. We need to get on that Trigon fucking mission, though, dude.
Hell yeah.
So
Actually, I think I
ma-
downloaded the update, but haven't played it yet.
marathon. So like my issue, my only thing about it is like not that I had not to say like like an extraction shooter doesn't entice me. The gunplay reminds me a lot of Destiny, and I like that. But I haven't seen enough of the abilities to be like, oh, this is like a cool, awesome take on this particular genre. Because I don't know enough. I just think, like you said, Lewis, well, not used, but you've corrected me. Bungie needs a win. Bungie needs a fucking win.
I
So
mean, they have literally not been working on it, but they've been polishing the idea of marathon for the last 20 years.
hasn't there been
And
like bigger name? Hasn't there been like bigger
extra
names?
shooters,
Yeah, no. Hasn't there been bigger name streamers that have actually tested the game already?
yes, they have. Aztec Cross, a bunch of people have tested the game so far.
And they said
And
that
the
they
thing,
liked it, right?
it depends on who you talk to because Aztec Cross did a he tested the game like a year ago, and apparently the game from what like Rick Kakis played and what he played are two different games apparently.
Excuse me, who?
Rick Kakis, he's another Destiny streamer.
That's not
Like
his
he's another
name.
yeah, Rick Kakis. Rick space Kakis is his name.
Cac.
Kaiki.
Actually,
Rick Kakis is his
No,
name.
it's not. You can watch on
It
YouTube
is.
of gameplay. Like they have gameplay out of it already.
Yeah, when they played it, but that's not the alpha we're gonna be playing. They're playing a earlier version of the game, and we'll be playing a more polished version of the game. So you can look up Doctor Lupo. You can look up
Doctor
Astacross.
Lupo. Doctor
Yeah,
Lupo. Doctor Lupo was the one that was talking to me about it.
yeah. So some people have gameplay of it already.
Equipment you can scavenge throughout
If
the
you
map.
want to, you can check them out and see. The thing with the extraction shooter genre is like this is kind of coming out after so many other extraction shooters have dropped. Like Tarkov is one example. 1984, I told you, is one example. GTFO. They did one for Siege. They did an extraction shooter. So it's one of those things of their twist is gonna be how do you incorporate abilities? Like how well do we add this in?
That's what
Because
I'm
because
that's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean?
because 1984 is a really good game. The problem is it doesn't have the backing that like Ubisoft gave to Siege Extraction or
Don't
Tarkov
even
had like
get me started on Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft, don't even get me started, bro. That's
I don't
it,
even
man.
know.
They are done, bro. They
I
got
mean,
bought out, bro. That's it.
the thing is, right? They got bought out, right? But I'm pretty sure whoever bought them out is like, you see,
Tencent.
we bought you out, but if Nintendo can sell games for $50, we can sell games for like $1,000 and get away. Like that's gonna be. The thing with Nintendo is they're doing a dynamic pricing range, which is I'm losing my mind over because it's like So Mario Kart is worth $100, but Kirby is worth 60. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I get more joy from Kirby than I do Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Like, all because it's like a social area. But if it's something that you're down to do, I can definitely give you the creator code, and this could be something that like streaming wise would be good. We'll just have to like I think I'll tell you the exact the open beta is from the 23rd to May 4th. So about like a week and a half. We got like 2 weeks almost.
This is good. This is good gunplay though.
It is, but Bungie's always been good with Halo and things like they've always had good gunplay.
Yeah,
That's
but
something
all right.
that I
So
never
why?
really
But so the why? So let me. So why wouldn't I want to play this? Like, what's the
Why?
fucking
Because
problem?
because people don't like extraction shooters.
What's the problem with extraction shooters? Are they is
I
the
just told you
loop?
you could play 3 hours and do nothing, and people don't like not getting progress. That's the big problem that people have with games.
Oh no.
People get copiums from like winning and getting things, which is why like for example Overwatch. We use Overwatch 1 as a good example, which is
Yeah.
the big issue with it. Overwatch 1, you could lose 20 games, but if you got a loot box that had a legendary inside of it, you kind of felt like, you know what, I may have lost these games, but at least I got something out of it.
Mhm.
Extraction shooters, we could do this we could play this game, right, for days and still be level 5. That's the problem that people
And
have.
have nothing to show for it.
And have not a
What?
single thing. Yeah, and have nothing. That's the problem with extraction shooters. That's why extraction shooters are so niche. That's why people
You
like,
know who's a good reference for this, Lewis? Not to cut you off. I apologize. Thunder. Thunder, don't you play Tarkov?
No,
No?
I avoid Tarkov like the plague.
a lot of people avoid Tarkov
Oh,
like the plague because that is one
no.
of the sweatiest games you could play. That is
Precisely.
the sweatiest. That is so the reason why, for example, what's that Helldivers is so good as an extraction shooter is because it's not PvP based, it's PvE based. So you could kind of have a chance to get out of there. The problem with PvP based extraction shooters is I could kill you, right? We could be teammates and I could kill you, take your weapon, and you get nothing. That's the problem with PvP extraction shooters.
It's
Like,
not even that you get nothing with Tarkov. You start back at 0.
yeah, Tarkov in 1984.
No.
Were really bad with that.
No. All the way back to 0? People
Yeah,
people play extraction shooters purely to experience gameplay. Progression varies per game. Well, I think that loop is nice, but if I'm not getting out, like, all right, experience is one thing that's tangible, right? In terms of gear, yes. Experience is one thing, right? So like you learn, like let's use Sekiro for example, right? Like Sekiro doesn't have a variable progression system, right? Like it doesn't have skill points that translate to skills over time. It does, but those skills are just for just whatever like particular move you want to do, like a swing attack. But you're not like putting major points into like defense or attributes, right? There's no progression in that. You really get your skill from playing the game, dying a bunch of times, and then learning the boss fights and then learning how to play the game. But
So
that's how it pushes you into playing that game. But if you're playing a shooter, there's only so much like skill you can have in shooting games to the point that you like, you want to progress your character per se. I don't know. That's just the way I think about it.
So the way Marathon is working is, let's say for example we're on the same team, right?
Yeah.
And we fight a team, and we get a golden weapon, right?
Yeah.
If I take the golden weapon, it immediately demotes down to legendary because I'm not the one that got it to golden. So the game works by a demotion system. And then let's say there's the 3 of us are in Marathon, and I go down and Thunder goes down, but you stay alive and you leave. We will equally share the materials to physically upgrade abilities, but in terms of weapons and things like that, we can't keep anymore because we died and we lost it.
So
Now,
are
I
we?
don't know if
So
you-
are we progressing things during the match? And if
You're
we
progressing
die,
things after
you
you get
lose.
out.
You
lose,
progressing
yes, you lose
things. What? Say it again.
So let's say you die before you're able to get out. Whatever progress you made in the game is gone. So any
No.
materials, any government is gone. That's
No.
why extraction shooters are what they are.
What
You
the
need-
fuck?
The whole point of it is for you to get out as soon as possible. That's literally the whole point of it is to get what you need, get out and leave, and that's it. That's why it's called an extraction shooter. Now, when people
Marathon
get
gives you the ability to res your teammates, so you have a chance to extract if one of you lives. The whole
yeah,
team.
the way you gotta view it is don't view it as view it as when it comes to healing as a less aggressive healing way of Helldivers, where you could heal someone, you could bring them back to life, but you can't do it all the time. The main issue with extraction shooters is it's a game that if you're not well skilled and you didn't plan the map accordingly, you're going to get fucked. Like you kind of have to sometimes be like, you know what, I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to third party this team because there's a chance that I might not make it out. So you kind of
Yo,
let the
they
two
just
teams go each other.
hear me out about the art style. The art style is very like Final Shape.
Blocky?
Yeah, I like the Final Shape. It was unique. I thought it was unique. I thought it was like that weird like geometric stuff.
Say what you will about Bungie, they know how to design a fucking map.
They do.
Yeah,
They
they
do.
do.
But hear me out. I'm not trying to shit on a new game that has come out. Just hear me out, both of you, my boys. Does it feel a little over designed?
Overdesign? It does. It does. It does. No, it does. The thing is,
Like the
way you gotta
saturation
compare-
is hurting my eyes.
Well, you know what it is though is and this is the crazy part is this is not how the game's gonna look at the end of it. Like this is like beta testing. Like we are testing a game that's supposed to come out in like I think November, December. So they're gonna polish it up as it goes on. I feel like it might look more like Apex. Like it might have like that type of color saturation of an Apex game, but it's not there yet. I think they're trying to figure things out.
Chat says September, I believe. Okay, September.
Yeah.
Because like just from like an artistic like palette design thing, it's very hard for me to see this and go. I can make clear distinctions between the geometric things that we're using as tools and the environment. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like a fucking dick. I don't mean to sound like a fucking dick, but I'm being dead ass. Like I don't know like what's the difference between like a roll of tape and then like the tools that I use. You know what I mean? That's like
I mean the same issue ran into with
Destiny has that same problem. Destiny has a lot of
not just Destiny. What's that game called? CD Projekt Red, with the Android. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk had that issue in the very beginning before the asset patch came out. Like there was things where it was like, why is this merging into a door? I don't know what the hell this is. Like I didn't know I was supposed to grab this dildo off the sink. Like they're like it just kind of
no, but I say like this, like look at this, like the shapes are really beautiful. I think that like the way the character design has this like cyberpunk-esque thing, but it's the clean look that gets me. It's the clean, overtly saturated look that stops me from differentiating things. You know what I mean? Like this all kind of looks like a Lego piece put together. Like look at how his arms blue coursing with the black that is very deep with the gun. This is just purely off of the fact that I'm a stickler for like the artistic direction for things. That's me. I'm a come mierda for that. That's me. The game could play well though.
Like I'm not defending Marathon because I have had the biggest gripes with Bungie like my entire life. I've always had gripes. Like there's a reason why I no longer get. There's a reason why I no longer
Bungie
get
professional.
But I don't get invited to the Bungie events anymore for a reason. I don't do Bungie streams anymore for a reason. Like there's reasons for that. And the thing is with this game is, and this is my hope of this is, you want to invest 20 years into this game, fine. You want to take resources from Destiny, like they took the Final Shape developers off.
Come on, dude. The resources from Destiny to put onto this is like.
Yeah.
Why?
Which is why Shadowkeep was so bad. Which is why a lot of DLCs were not received well.
So this is
this game. For me, my point of view is, damn it, you're gonna hit me an ad. I'm gonna be watching you. I just need this game to hit, because I don't know how I would feel if I knew that I was playing a half-ass Destiny game for a shit game.
Yeah, dude. It would really hurt. The
that
devs
would I would
working
be
on
like,
this.
you did this for this?
Oh,
Like,
they were from the original Halo trilogy.
yes.
Okay, we like that studio. We like them. They did a crazy good job. We like them. So yeah, we have to give them their praise a little bit. We have to, you know.
The only thing that ever kills me about Bungie is ever since that press conference they did, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, right? Where they said that they developed the style of never giving the buyer everything you could. So there's a reason why like the game always seems like half-ass done, like the story isn't done. Like one of the saddest things that ever happened to Destiny is you play D1. You have a tattoo of a Titan. I know you play D1.
Yeah, I did.
Did you know from Destiny, right? Like the first Destiny, that whole thing of like I don't have no time to explain why I have no time. Ever since that line with Peter Dinklage was the ghost,
Yo, bro,
apparently Destiny to the Taken King was one game that they broke up into 3 DLCs.
from the
Like
Taken
that,
King was one game.
yeah. So you
I
have to
heard.
play
Actually,
from.
no. I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. I heard
So
that. I
you
heard that. I heard
so
that. I heard that. I heard that.
DLCs.
Yeah.
they made the House of Wolves and everything into a DLC, but really it was just one giant game that they decided, no, this could be 3 DLCs.
My biggest gripe with Destiny is the reclamation of its content. That at its core, huh?
What do you mean by that?
Like let's say I paid for what's something that they sunsetted. What's an area that they got rid of?
Just Mercury.
Yeah, I hated how they retcon Forsaken. Yeah, it's shit like that. Like they just like all right. So I paid for a whole map, right? Say what you want about World of Warcraft. Say what you want about World of Warcraft, but everything I've ever paid for in WoW is still in WoW.
Okay, you're talking about vaulting it, not wreck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but tell me if I'm wrong. Like if you paid for the shit, if I paid for it, why the fuck you taking it away? You gave me it's like you gave me a pass to a roller coaster and they destroyed the roller coaster. Now it's no longer there.
But you know what it is that this is the main thing that bothers me so much about them doing that. You want to do the whole Destiny content vault, whatever, that's fine. My main issue is you can't play certain DLCs without the other DLC, and that's a problem that I have. So for example, Forsaken itself, you can go to the area that Forsaken was based on, but the story isn't there. But you can't play other DLCs without Forsaken. Like these are things that I'm like, why? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, how do you expect me to like? I feel like
it's like how Witch Queen had missions on Europa, so you needed Beyond Light.
yeah,
That was it. That was the one I was thinking about. That was the one I was thinking about.
Those are things that make no sense to me. Where it's like, if you're gonna do a DCVU, right, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right, you at least have to adjust the DLCs to the way accordingly.
Didn't Thor talk about this? The Thor said some shit about this, right? He said some shit like that he got into the game to get a gun, right? And that gun was tied up in it. What that gun was not tied up in an expansion, but you needed like some sort of exotic boots to make you fly or some shit, or something with the exotic boots, and it would make the gun work as intended. But where were the boots locked up in? They were locked up into a expansion. So you were getting stuff not in an expansion that only really worked if you had the expansion to make it work. So someone can't just go in and go play the game. Like they can't. They can't. They can get the demo and try. But there are so many things that are locked into paywalls that it's just like, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, Trials of Osiris is behind a paywall. Raids. This is the part that makes me so annoyed, right? Is you could buy the major expansion pass, right? And they'll give you the dungeon keys, but you won't get the season pass. Or if you would have to fork over $100.
Bro, the dungeon keys alone.
Yeah, the dungeon keys alone are like $20 a key, if I'm not mistaken, and then they'll do like 6 keys a year.
Oh my
and
God.
like for example, this past year was the Sunless Cell. There was the one on Europa.
Let's.
There's been a couple of them that has
Chat-
come out in the last year.
Chat makes a good point. Yeah, they were greedy, but we paid into all of that. You know what I mean? Like they got. I'm not trying to fucking shit on us, but at the end of the day, like I spent $100 plus more for every single expansion.
Mhm.
Every single expansion, I paid $100. I paid for the DLC plus the fucking the seasons, right? And we were cool about this. Thunder, pero at that, what the fuck is the problem? You're always welcome to join. Is it crazy?
I know. I just didn't realize you were streaming until you mentioned chat. I'm like, oh wait a minute. I just saw you guys in the voice room.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead. I'll go
Gamers
ahead.
perpetuate their own misery. This is just a no. I don't think that it's so. All right, hear me out. Maybe I'm just an asshole for saying this part, but
Yeah, probably.
fuck you. I think that one of the things is that just to be skeptical about everything. That's why I can't really be mad when people say shit like, one that really grinds my gears is like a new one that came out. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you heard this one, Lewis. That Bad Bunny is exploiting Puerto Ricans, right?
Oh yeah. So ever since Logan Paul and Jake Paul said that he was.
And then they have no real reasoning behind it. But then and I want to get like fucking super mad. I want to be like, yo, fuck you. Here's my foot. Shove it up your own ass, right? And then I say, even though it makes me upset that they say those things, and obviously it's not, right? Because of the way that individual is and what he means to Puerto Rico. I can be mad at you for what my ideals is, but people cannot be unskeptical. People still need to be skeptical about things, right? Question everything. Everything is permitted. What's the line from Assassin's Creed? Nothing is true. Everything is permitted, or some bullshit like that. Whatever the case is concerned, you be skeptical about everything, right? So be skeptical, right? At a certain point in time during Destiny was really fucking fun, right? And then it wasn't. And then it was really fun again.
Right.
And then it was really fun again. Like Witch Queen was like really peak. Witch Queen was like, I was like, put it in my veins. You know what I mean? I was there like on it.
Was
You know?
the second coming.
Yeah. Witch Queen was like, oh God, yes. So
Which Queen is what they needed because
Witch Queen
Final
was
Shape was not Final Shape. Lightfall did really bad, so they needed to land. They needed to land Witch Queen. That was a problem.
Witch Queen was
Well, the
Witch Queen was
problem is
wild.
Witch Queen came first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Witch
then,
Queen, it was Witch Queen, Nightfall, and then Final Shape. Final Shape is the one that kind of like saved it a little bit too.
yeah. So listen.
Final Shape was pretty good. I don't think it was quite as good as Witch Queen, but they at least recovered.
Yeah,
far
Final
better
Shape
than
was good. But what was the one right before it? It was
Like,
Shadowkeep.
Lightfall. Lightfall. Okay, listen to this. Lightfall was content that was cut from Witch Queen. And we knew that it was cut from Witch Queen. We knew it. They told us. They said this is content that was supposed to be a part of this. Because that green subclass strand was supposed to be a part of Witch Queen. And they broke it up right before the Final Shape. You ever notice how the Final Shape has so much and Witch Queen had a lot, but not nearly as much as Lightfall? Like Lightfall had a fucking lot, right? I mean, the Final Shape had a lot of shit, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't even think. No, did Lightfall have a raid? It doesn't even matter.
They all had raids. All of them had raids.
That's right. We went into Lightfall knowing this and still was like, all right, here's the bread. Here's the bread. Take it.
I mean,
right?
I can explain why though. I can explain why that happened.
Because we were on the high for Witch Queen.
It wasn't just.
We wasn't skeptical. If people went out there and was like, listen, we already know this is gonna be fucked up. Stockholm syndrome, yeah. We know this is
It
gonna
is
be
Stockholm
fucked up.
syndrome.
It is.
It is Stockholm syndrome. Because the thing is that you have to also understand is that Bungie has done something. They have mastered the one thing that video games want to do, which is FOMO. They have perfected FOMO.
Oh my god.
God
Oh
forbid
my
you
god.
miss 1 month. God forbid you miss 1 month of Destiny.
Bro, I have
The
bullshit.
shaders you miss, the guns. Oh, did you not play between
Wait,
May
what's
9th
this?
and May 31st? Like,
What's
oh, that's
this?
what they are.
Skepticism
That's your ability.
is healthy doubt when faced with lack of credible evidence. Random quote. Who said it?
And
Curious.
then
Blackbird.
like
Scout?
for example, they did a free thing recently, right? Where it was like Shax was behind it. There was like a new area in the tower where you can get Luna's Howl, a bunch of old reprised weapons. That was like you get a shiny, and these are best in class, right?
Oh, I
And you
remember. It
farm,
was the
and you
armory. It was the armory.
It wasn't the armory. It was something like the armory, but it wasn't. It was like they gave like the shader, the
It
super
wasn't the black
shader.
armory, but it was his armory. He had
Yeah, it
like,
was his armory. Yeah, he
yeah.
had his own personal army where you can get like mountaintop
Bro,
and everything like
yeah,
that,
I
right?
remember that
And
shit. That
and
had caused so many
God
problems.
God forbid you missed that at all, or 3 months after you have Edge Transit with this and this. No, I don't. Oh, no, not meta. You have mountaintop. Oh, you can't cheese the wall, so you can't cut like. Bungie has perfected doing that.
That
And
is.
when
Hold on.
they nerf it when they know more broken shit is coming, so they nerf it. So then you got to go after the other broken shit.
Well,
You are forced to play the game in 3 month intervals. You have no
Yes.
choice.
Yes,
You have
but
to.
I just hear me out when I say this. That is one part Destiny's shit, created environment, and the other part community. Because I was blessed to have a community, have pretty decent size building that are willing to help others out, right? But let's say you're doing LFG, and this might, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not for every community because Monster Hunter is always willing to help somebody run a monster. It doesn't give a fuck. But if you're not running meta gear, if you're not running the perfect Edge Transit with the perfect rolls, get the fuck out of my raid group. Get the fuck out of my dungeon run. Get out of. You cannot be. You
That
can't.
has been a thing since D1 though. Since Atheon days.
Yeah,
That's been a
but
thing.
that is a core issue with looter shooters.
But
Not getting the right role.
That is first off, that is a pure issue with Destiny. Because there's
Yeah.
some looter shooters that the people will be like okay, so it's not a looter
What
shooter,
the
but
fuck?
It's like a dungeon crawling type of game. So I'll use ESO for example, right?
Wait, hold on. I'm looking. I'm not to cut you off again. I apologize. I just looked back on Marathon. You can customize the current attributes and abilities per character.
Yes.
Whoa.
So I'll use ESO as a good example, right? So there's a dungeon called Cloud Rest Dungeon. At the time of when I used to play the game, if you were playing a sorcerer, you needed gear from that, right? The problem was there were starting to be people saying you can't run this dungeon with me until you get this gear. But the problem is that gear dropped from that dungeon. So then the community started Xing those people out the community where it's like, you're not gonna be these PvE trial run whatever, these dungeon crawler people and tell me that I need the gear from said dungeon in order for me to do the dungeon. I can't do the dungeon without the gear. It makes no sense. What happened with Destiny was the community didn't check itself at Atheon. Nobody knew week 1 that Gallahorn was going to be Gallahorn. Nobody fucking knew that was going to happen.
Oh yeah, they say this shit all the time.
No one knew. No one. Red Death came out. Almost nobody got it because nobody had the coins. And Gallahorn came out because people were like, I don't want an exotic rocket. And then what you heard during the raid, either you got Icebreaker or you got Gallahorn. You don't got either. You're good
Also,
on that.
what am I looking at here? I don't know if you can see my stream.
The weapons on one end. That looks like the first one. That's the back weapon. That looks like all the materials on the right. What's in your vault that you were able to keep and what's in your backpack. So I think what's in your vault is what you could save, that they were able to save, and then what's in the backpack is what you can take with you on the field. Then you have your equipment, your grenades, your automatic shield. This is kind of like what happened with if you look at the left side, it kind of reminds me of Valorant. when you're buying and adding things to your loadout for when you go out.
Yo, Thunder, for a motherfucker that doesn't play these games, you know a lot of fucking about this shit.
How was Lewis talking?
Nah, I know,
Oh,
he's
typing,
he's
yeah,
like
typing,
typing. Come on, yo,
I
yeah.
just saw, yeah. I'm like, I forgot. I have to look. Like, oh, he's typing. That's right.
What the fuck?
Like,
Look at
I've
this,
seen
like,
some things with them, but
look
But
at this
that's
one
that's
thing. Oh, you know what it's like? As far as like, damn, your vault is pretty huge. It reminds me of Path of Exile 2's inventory structure, where the blocks, depending on how big the item is, will take up more.
Shout out to Resident Evil for making that shit.
Resident Evil started that? Really?
I don't know they started, but I know they popularized it. I know they made that shit. Resident Evil 4. Was it Resident Evil 4? Whatever you gotta whenever it's leaving, yeah, whenever you gotta save the president's daughter. They made that shit, that fucking, I don't know if it was them. Somebody started it first, but I know they made it the most famous because of how fucking agitating that shit used to be. But
Nah,
yeah,
bro. Look at this. This is it? Look.
yeah, Resident Evil, right? Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was them. Yep, that's it right there. They're the ones that did it. They're the ones that did it.
Whoa, dude! Holy shit! That is.
And they kept it in the game ever since. They kept that same thing in the game ever since.
Oh yeah, look, it's on a grid. Whoa, what the fuck? You used to be able to take rocket launchers into your fucking
Bro,
Resident
you can
Evil.
take whatever, bro.
the
Wow,
gadget
bro.
concealed carry,
Yeah.
if I may quote Max Shore.
When I used to play Resident Evil Heavy, I used to call it the Capsule Corp because he would have like this little pouch of where he would hold these weapons in. I'm like, oh, I love this. This is amazing. I
Capcom,
miss
bro.
that game. Yeah, I miss that game
Right?
so
Yeah,
much.
Capcom, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, if you think,
Um,
if you really think about it, bro, you know who's still from the older generation, still kicking ass? Developer?
Capcom.
Capcom.
Well,
Capcom
I mean,
is.
we'll see what happens when we'll see how we feel when those prices come out for the next game. Bro, I'm so scared for the next games, bro. Fucking
Why?
horrified right now.
Chat,
Yeah, even
please,
Bandai
please,
Namco's
please,
still
please,
kicking.
please. No, I'm telling you this right now. Gamers get, you know, but at the end of the day, bro, get enough of them fucking mad.
Well, this is you. Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so Marathon, for example, is going to be $40, right? Which
Marathon is
feel-
gonna be $40.
yes, which I
It's
feel,
not it's not considered a AAA game.
no, it is a AAA game. They're just going to charge $40 for it. So to me, that's a fair price to me, because I know how Bungie is when it comes to content. I'm like, okay, I know who you are.
That's the
I'm
alleged
aware
price.
of the concept. That's the
Oh.
alleged price, yes. So I'm like, okay, so if you're gonna be no, I think that's the price they said. I think they said it's gonna be 40. I think out of their own mouths at the last developer meeting, I think they said it was gonna be 40. So you could sit here and be like this, okay, it's $40.
Mm.
I know how you guys do games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against it. I'm not. You need this game to win.
Yeah.
Because Sony has already said we're gonna fire all of you if you don't do a good job. Like Sony has already said they're gonna fire everyone from Bungie if they don't fucking figure it out. So I'm like, that's cool, that's fine. What scares me, right, is the company who is hiking up their prices to these levels is a company
Nintendo.
who knows that their people will pay for it. They
Nintendo.
know their people will pay for
Woohoo.
it. And the problem with that comes that,
Woohoo. Oh my
and then the
god.
the
bro.
worst part about this, right, is
The stands.
how do
for-
you how do you not justify GTA costing like $120? Like,
Well,
how
here-
do you not justify that? That's
no,
gonna be the
I'm
problem.
not.
Like,
So the thing is, for what GTA is going to potentially provide, I don't think that $100 is not out of the realm of possibility for them. I don't.
that wasn't out of the run before Nintendo. That's what I'm saying. If
don't.
they sit here and say 120, it won't be an issue, really.
Nintendo is a motherfucker. They
Oh,
are.
and did you see they adjusted
They
prices
are.
too?
They
just
are.
adjusted the prices. They just
They-
adjusted the prices.
They are. And the reason I say that is because you do not lower your prices for the older IPs.
No,
retaliation towards tariffs.
Breath of the Wild has been
Well, explain to me, Brett.
$60
Yeah,
for
Brett. Explain to me, Breath of the Wild. Why should someone have to still spend even now $60 to play that?
Because it's still the same game it was when they released it for $60.
Oh, and then the worst part is, right, to get the upgraded version, you don't even get the DLCs. You just get the base game. That's the wild part about that one. To get the upgraded one, that was so crazy to me when I heard that.
You know what? You know what's the crazy thing is, like, I am a Pokemon enjoyer. I fucking love Pokemon. I have a tattoo of a Game Boy on my arm. I'm about this life. If I had the money to get into TCG, fuck it, I would.
He's a Game Boy.
Pero, yo, I just cannot. I'm like Boyo on this. Boyo has a really, really hard time justifying Pokemon shit because of just how they just have not been delivering. And he like pointed one thing out to me, and I was like, bro, you know what? You're right. Wow.
I mean, what doesn't help is Power World came out and like did a better job of Pokemon than Pokemon did.
With so much less. But he was like, have you ever seen the attacks animations?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say for instance, Hydro Pump. What the fuck does Blastoise do with Hydro Pump? They don't come out of his fucking cannons.
As it's supposed to.
As it's supposed to. It's just a water beam in front of him. God, bro. And then the characters just go like this. You know what I mean? Like, we're paying for the same thing. And like you could, and like an argument could be said, well, you don't have to buy the game. No, you're totally right. I don't. And I shouldn't. But in that same limelight, you could you like, you know, people really like here to eat dick and bubble gum, and guess what? I'm out of bubble gum. Wow.
That was from Duke Nukem. I remember that.
Wow. What yo, what a statement there. What a statement there.
I'm here to chew ass and kick gum, and I'm
whoa, what a statement. What a fucking statement there.
That's a classic video too. That
whoa,
video's a
holy
classic.
shit.
You ever seen that video?
What?
That what he said. You never seen that video?
Right, right. Figured I'd make an impact.
1,216 just followed.
Thank you for the follow, my boy. You the man. What a way to crack open a fucking door, son. Jesus. We were talking about marathon, games we don't like, all that good stuff. I don't know. I mean, you know what's crazy? It's gonna sound fucking nuts. I'm not mad at this. I wouldn't say I'm potentially excited to play Marathon, to bring back the conversation. But I think if I'm in the same boat that I was with Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was there's fucking hype around it. You want to... That's the video? Fuck. Can I play it really quick? Fuck. Is this it? Like...
It's time to kick gum and chew ass.
What is this?
And I'm all...
OG from like Newground days.
I should play this on stream. Should play Duke Nukem on stream. But yeah, I would say that like there's hype around it. And
there's hype around it.
It's hype around Marathon, right? And if you're on some like last ditch effort to fucking say let's ride out in the sunset, guns blazing, fuck it, I'll give you a chance. I'm always about second chances, dude. I'm always about second chances. I'll even give you a third chance. I'll give you a third chance. But after that third chance, yo, bro, not again. Not again. You don't see me You don't see me playing Call of Duty. I used to ride or die Call of Duty, bro. Ride or die.
I mean, we had fun during the alpha. Remember the
yeah, I used to ride or die Call of Duty. I didn't even give it a fuck if like I wasn't retaining people. for that. Like I wasn't building views or I loved the game. The game was great, right? Like Verdansk, let's be honest. Quarantine, bro, smack my head over a table and call me a glazed pig because I was on that shit, bro. Wow, what a fucking saying. What a fucking saying. Oh my god. But you know what I mean? Like all about it. And then I just was like, yo, this is predatory. Same thing with Diablo 4. Diablo 4 was one of the reasons I stopped playing. Just the fucking, and then I stood my ground with Destiny for so long because Destiny was like one of the reasons I got into like streaming, content creating. Love Destiny. I already miss Modern Warfare 2022. Dad, dude. If I could just get like, yo, give me a week. Give me one quarantine week. Give me one quarantine week. And give me like the quarantine game lineup, which included like Fortnite, right? Fuck it. I'll be a chicken jock, right? Like Fortnite, Call of Duty, and Destiny 2. Like on like a rotating basis.
You talking about during quarantine time?
Quarantine,
Quarantine.
quarantine.
A fucking hell of a game. That was a hell of a year too.
For Elden Ring?
Elden Ring also came around that time.
Oh, you're not even wrong, dude. You're not even wrong. You're not even wrong.
That was a great year of gaming. That was a great year of gaming. That was such a good fucking year.
Yo, the world was gonna end. What a great year in gaming. What a great year in gaming.
We're home. Oh, we have nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. We just fucking play games. OG Halo trilogy, OG Modern Warfare trilogy, and Ready or Not. Oh, bro. Ready or Not alone. Be fucking fantastic.
Do you want me to tell you something real quick? And luckily for me, my gamer tag here does not match my Xbox Destiny account tag, so it's fine. The reason why I'm no longer like I'm actually surprised Bungie's like, yeah, you can come back into the creator program for us, is because years ago in Destiny, it was a horrible content drop. That was back when the Osiris DLC came out. And they were still selling Eververse skins for like they were still selling shaders in Eververse. Like you had to buy a pack of 5 for like $4. I was at this time I used to be friends with Cammy Cakes and other people. On the stream, I'm like, this is bullshit that these servers are dog shit, but I promise you Eververse will work tomorrow. You want to give us no story, but Eververse is gonna work tomorrow. I promise you that. And then I was going on a fucking rampage. Everyone was laughing about it. And then next thing I know, I went from a partner to a normal player. Like I got demoted. They said that I was like, Bungie at the time was very hypersensitive. I know this because a YouTuber by the name of Lono also got kicked out the program around the same time I did, and it was just like they was just kicking people out left and right that just says anything bad about Destiny. But my point of view at the time was, I don't understand how you can make 1,000 gun skins. I don't understand how you can make all these shaders, all these things, right? Pumping it. But I ask you for a new gun model and you say no. I ask you for something different, you say no. Like that. Those are things that used to drive me insane. Where it's like, PvP got nothing for years. I'm a big PvP person. I do trials, carries, the whole night. I will do whatever is needed in PvP. It drove me insane that for 3 years there was nothing to do. There was not a single thing to do. Trials wasn't hitting. The one DLC that had Trials of Osiris in it had no trials. How does that make any sense? That makes no sense. So luckily for me, now I'm going back into good graces. I'm gonna be a little bit more positive about it now. But I also have this history with Bungie where it's like you charge more than you need to. You're worried about the wrong things, and then you just don't want to pursue it. And
That's
the worst part is
absolute power corrupts absolute. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, one of the most infuriating things that I ever heard from Bungie developers, and this is live video that you can find on YouTube if you just look it up. It's 3 Bungie developers, right? that they're just talking podcasting style, and they said, "Yeah, we could technically give you a new ritual weapon every season, but that's too much work for us, so we're not gonna do it." What the fuck do you mean? You're a developer. That is your job is to develop. Is it not? Like,
What do we pay you for?
what are you being paid? Like that was when Randy's throwing knives. Like Randy's throwing knife was like the last weapon they did. That was like this top tier, like holy shit weapon that they did.
All right, so it's funny enough, when I came back into the game around Shadowkeep, Randy's throwing knife was a weapon that was already in the game, and I swore up and down that Randy's throwing knife was the name for the action when Solar Hunters did the blade dance.
Barrage.
I for the longest, because I have all three characters, but I have Titan brain and crayon eating tendencies. So I swore Lewis and Thunder that whenever they would do the blade dance, it would be Randy's throwing knife. So when I picked up Hunter and got the subclass and did it, I was like, the fuck is this? Where's my Randy's throwing knife? What the fuck is blade dance?
Blade Barrage. Yeah.
Blade Barrage, yeah, Blade Barrage. Don't give a fuck.
Blade Dance was the D1 Arc one that doesn't exist anymore.
No, fuck all of that, bro. Give me lightning, my fist, and your face. That's all I need. And the My Hero Academia music going off in the background. Plus Ultra. I just need that. All right, boys. I need a closeout from you guys. Last words.
Stay in school, don't do drugs. Peace.
For me is don't let tomorrow's frustration bother you today.
Wow, get cute.
Also, Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce. It's time to kick gum and chew ass and more love ass.
Let's just read. I just want to read this one more time, Here to eat dick and bubble gum. And guess what? I'm all out of bubble gum.